as humans, we want to be connected to something. We want to feel in part of community. That's why it's crucial to have a goal. And then connecting your smallest team, I don't know, my team is like 6 engineers in a 3,000 something organization. Connecting that helps a lot to people.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, Candost Dagdeviren. I hope I didn't butcher up that one.
Close.
Yeah, Candost is an engineering manager at SumUp in Berlin. He writes on his blog about engineering, life reflections, and many other interesting topics. He's also a multi-potentialite, which just means has a lot of interests and passions at the same time. And yeah, I'm so glad to have him here. I have read his blog, I think, since last year. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with the hottest topic these days, AI.
Yeah.
How is AI affecting your job as an engineering manager at SumUp, like in a positive or negative way?
Yeah, if we don't talk about AI, I think it will be a waste for everyone these days. Yeah, so AI, I think it's affecting in a positive way. So, like, for years, I've been neglecting coding and trying to dive into so many other topics because as an engineering manager, there's a lot of parts where you do stakeholder management, where you do a lot of things around people, right? Like just talking and trying to understand what people want, what people need, and trying to help them grow, and etc. And I realized that I did not have the headspace to think about coding. Because then I needed to dive deep, even though I was reviewing some pull requests here and there, doing a lot of architectural design together with the team. It still felt that I don't. It still felt like I lack something. So,
Mm.
and thanks to AI, now I'm more coding actually, because when I see a small problem, and instead of me going and trying to figure out where was it, I just talk with AI a little, and it's like, hey, there's this bug here and there, and then now I know the project, of course, like some structural parts, etc. So I can guide the AI to um, to look for certain parts, and then that helps me there, right? Like, and then I fix the bug. Before it used to be more like, okay, go to an engineer, create a bug ticket, whatever. It's just unnecessary process. Now this we eliminated this one, and I also see that the team is doing a lot with AI,
Mm.
which we also encourage all the time. And then I observe that we see the accumulating benefits, right? Like the compounding effect
Mm.
of the results that we are getting. And this also, like just yesterday, we did this. I just turned it on. Why I don't know why we waited for so long, but we turned on this Copilot review, pull request review on GitHub. It's just having this like
Yeah.
lifts a lot of headspace, right? Like you first request for review from there, then engineers review. So that's why I think it's affecting in a positive way. Of course, there's this negative part, which if we don't talk about it, that will be waste, which is due to AI, there are less manager jobs, right? Even I'm a manager, and then there's like this flat hierarchy is now being more and more there because due to AI, people have more, I don't know, headspace or capacity maybe to lead more people. But
Mm.
I have very big doubts there that actually this is the right way. So we will see what it shows. But that one is a bit interesting because I'm just maybe like observing and trying to figure out if that is negatively impacting or not. But it's totally okay because the job is changing, we are changing, and we will find our way. But it's just the change period is always painful, right? Like in anything, it's
Mm-hmm.
always painful. So yeah,
Mm.
that's how I see.
That's an interesting point. I would like to dive more about what do you think about less manager jobs. I know that I've seen the trend where it's going right now, but in terms of like your insights and your prediction, where do you think
Hmm.
is it going?
I mean, so first, all predictions are wrong. Let's put it this way. So whatever I'm gonna say probably won't happen.
Just
Um,
speculation.
or yes, exactly. It's speculation. I mean, what I'm seeing, let's when we look at back, what I'm seeing is I think this is not only AI, but also the economic downturn that always brings less managers, right? Like you need to cut the
Mm,
budget, etc., etc. And then the first one to go is always the manager. Because then like the mid managers, especially in an organization. So that like you have the first line managers, which is usually, I don't know, team leads, engineering managers. Then you have the executives, and then on the between them it is always bureaucracy, right? Like the people who are doing the job are like individual contributors, does the job basically. And the more you have this overhead of until the executives, even the executives themselves, is just overhead of an organization. Like even the CEO is an overhead because they're not getting things done, right? So of course when the budget is short, they are literally like you try to reduce the overhead, which also brings speed because you don't need to
mm,
convince 10 people, you just like 2 people maybe in the top. Then you're like, okay, we go in this direction, and then you go with 2 people. So, and also with AI, this a bit fastened because now the many people also realized that they can do individual contributor jobs
mm,
much more easily, like what I do, right? I didn't used to write code much, but now these days I'm doing more than I used to do. It's still not an engineering level
mm,
due to the complexity of the job or the systems that we are dealing with. But it enables to do more. And I also, thanks to this, thanks to AI, I handed over some other responsibilities to AI so that I have the headspace and capacity to do my job on the coding side more.
mhm.
That's where it becomes interesting because then you have less manager jobs because actually what we are doing as a manager most of the time, let's admit it, talking, right? Like we just
Meetings.
talk. Exactly. We just like meetings over meetings. But what am I doing here? So I can cut that thing, like the whole overhead of my time, and then focus on getting things done, which is what the organization needs in the end, right?
Yeah. It sounds like there's gonna be like a hybrid role between manager and IC, I guess.
Which
And
is
oh,
terrible. Which is
terrible.
terrible. Yes. Like the thing is, you can't do 2 jobs.
Mm,
Like manager is a job by itself. And the moment you try to do manager and engineering, you suffer. Like it doesn't matter.
true.
But like it's also true if you do another job on the side of engineering. Like I don't know. When I look at engineers who has a side gig of some hobby, but it becomes a job, right? Like they separate this as not as a hobby, but as a job. Let's say, I don't know, they are teaching something, I don't know, pottery or whatever. Doesn't really matter what it is. The moment it becomes a job, you see that they are split in two.
Mm,
And then the brain can't handle somehow. I don't know why, but it's then the job becomes not really great. And then they are also not progressing too much in pottery. So it's like it's just a dual track, right? Like it's difficult, and some people does it good, like I let's admit. But at the same time, this is the same for engineers and managers. So you can't do really both well. Right now, is what I'm doing as an engineer is not really like an engineer job. If you give me the project to bring it to the production, it's like a complex project that I don't have time. Not because I have the meetings, but like the people part I'm focusing on
mm,
is this is where things get interesting, right? Like you still need to go and understand people. You need to learn a bit psychology. You need to learn a bit sociology sometimes, and then how organizations work, etc. Then, if I focus too much on engineering, that means we neglect people. So that's why it's not always 2 jobs at the same time.
mm. Okay. I see, I see. Yeah, that's more clear. Yeah, very interesting how things will pan out in the future. I wanted to
Yeah,
ask
we
too,
will see.
like, now that you're diving more into AI, what kind of tools are you using these days?
Oh, there's like I'm not into this too many AI connect everything together, etc. I use ChatGPT, and we have Cursor for coding, and also I use IntelliJ also for coding with
Hmm.
AI. Then we have Langdog for some assistant AI assistants, and on personal life I use Perplexity.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm not into this multiple AI agents running in parallel, reviewing each other. I want to learn actually that part, like how people do it, because I need to get, like, I need to, not need to, but I really want to learn how to run, I don't know, 5 AI agents in parallel to bring something to life, because it's still scary.
I've
Like,
never
but
tried
I
it
do the
either.
same thing with engineers, right? Like I explain things to engineers
Uh,
sometimes, like, hey, this is what we want to do. So I don't know how. This is what we want to do, and then they get together and do things. But yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is possible, but yeah, it will take a little bit of learning. I'm actually taking this course from Crew AI, multi-agents.
Mm.
So and he's teaching actually like now you gotta be a manager because you gotta role play the agents to be like a specific job for each one. And I think yeah, you will be a good one on that because
Yeah,
you're a good manager. You've been doing this for quite
I
some
don't know.
time.
Send me the course. I'm interested.
Okay, yeah, it's a free course in deep learning. Pretty cool one. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I will have a look.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, as an engineering manager, how does a day-to-day look like? But I think you already answered that part. But in general, like how does it look like actually?
I mean, it depends on which stage we are in the planning and the projects, right? Like if we are in the beginning of the projects, my usual days is really figuring out the details of what we are gonna build. As we work in fintech and there are so much money movements,
Mm,
etc., involved, the systems are by nature is complex because you don't have the luxury of making a lot of mistakes. Then it's costly. And this is why it's more about really figuring out in details of how, even like talking about how one field will be represented in the API, I don't know, for 1 hour, or debating over how it should be, which is sometimes draining, but it's the reality. And getting stakeholders into one alignment, because my team is currently in the I'm not doing payment processing in my team. That's not what we do, but we are connecting ecosystems, multiple products into one. Like my team is in the center of connecting an ecosystem of products together. That
mm,
is why one thing that we introduce is used by multiple products within the company. And all these things eventually provide a better experience for our customers, right? Like when you connect, come in and use our one product, you can easily use the other one, and then it should seamlessly connect everything. So this is why my day-to-day job is in the beginning of the planning seasons. It's usually a lot of stakeholder alignments, getting into details, designing things together with the team, like pulling the team in very quickly, or like a staff engineer trying to figure out very little details, then zooming out a little, and then let the team execute.
mm,
And there I rely on a lot on the team. Once we cleared out a lot of the how we are gonna build, not how we are gonna, but more like what are we gonna build, then I help the team to figure out how we are gonna build this. But there the team is more active day to day. And then I look on the next. So the day to day is more like start in the, I don't know. Every week we set a goal as it with a team. So Monday we get together. What's our goal for this week? And then we don't do sprint. So we don't do also
oh,
Kanban, but it's a mix of sprint and Kanban. Weird, but it works. We just say this week we want to achieve these 2 goals. We set 2 goals, like not much, or we don't say two goals are not like, I don't know, a ticket or something. It's really achievable two goals
Mm.
and ambitious goals for a week. And then until next Monday, which we get together again to review the goals first, we just focus on making them. So that helps with the priority decisions for the team, right? Like whenever they are in like, hey, should I do that one? There is a problem here. I'm like, if this is contributing to the goals, go ahead for sure. Like you don't even need to ask me. And then a lot of one-on-ones during the day today, mostly with the team, but also with my peers, my managers. Depends on the stage, like frequency changes. But overall, I would say a lot of these days increasing focus time, which is a side effect of AI maybe, which I didn't used to have. So this is why I'm like, okay, so I have more time now, getting
Wow.
things done. But these days, I'm also discovering some product management topics. So, which is also fun, like figuring out actually what are we building in detail, and also why are we building in things in certain way is a bit fun. Yes.
Mm. Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like the most about your job?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think the for me the biggest part where I get the joy is building things, right? Like
Mm.
it's I know I'm not actively coding and building everything in from that perspective, but trying to figure out a very complex system,
Mhm.
I don't know, that's connected to, let's say, like 6 8 other systems and not microservices in this case, is this is where I see the joy, right? Like because you cannot just do a hard engineering of like the craft whatever, then it's like, hey, in the best case scenario, it has to be this way. I'm like, yeah, but we are not never in the best case scenario. So then try to figure out what's the sacrifice. And sometimes you know that you don't want to do this, but just organizational constraints, like other team is not available, they have a higher priority thing, but you cannot hold. And then trying to figure out that part, right? Like the people aspect, the planning aspect, not just the architecture, not just the coding, but also them, also coding, also architecture, also people, also planning, also product, and then connecting all those things to our goal as an organization, right? Company goal. How do we contribute? And feeling that is the where I see the job, like where I enjoy the most, because then I'm able to connect to a goal
Mm.
of, I don't know, more than 3,000 people company. Like how, like sometimes this is not easy, right? Like people do things in isolation. If you ask them the company goal, how they are helping to the company's main goal, they will be like, oh yeah, I don't know, I just do this part. Like I don't know how this connects to big goal. This is where I get the joy because I see the connection, and if I don't see the
Mm.
connection, I have a power, I mean in quotes power, to correct the direction that we are going as a team. Because this, like I can say like, hey, this doesn't make sense what we
Mm.
are doing because it doesn't contribute to the goal of the company. Like let's not go there. And everybody's like, oh yeah, true. So figuring those things out is the where I get the joy.
Mm.
That part I like it.
Sounds
Yeah.
like you like having the big picture of, what's happening. And that can be, as a software engineer myself, like that can be hard because like you don't really see what's going on outside of myself. And
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I think that makes someone a good engineering manager if you can kind of like say to your reports that, hey, this is your goal, this is where we're going, and that's, yeah, that's awesome.
And it makes sense when you explain and when you walk people through how what we are doing is contributing to the big goal that the organization has, then people are more engaged because they feel they're part of something, right? Like this
Yes.
is where it's the juice because they feel it, they feel they contribute to a big goal, and then they are more motivated to drive even further.
Oh
That's
yeah.
where the motivation aspect comes in, because as humans we want to be connected to something, we want to feel in part of community. That's why it's crucial to have a goal. And then connecting your smallest team, I don't know, my team is like 6 engineers in a 3,000 something organization. Connecting that helps a lot to people, because they also, when they talk with other teams, they also reflect and they also pull others in line to contribute to the company goal, so that nobody is deviating around us. Because you cannot argue at this, like, hey, but we are contributing to this goal, like, keep this in mind. And then people are like, oh yeah, true, this other way that we are taking is just deviating from that goal, let's not go there. So things become
Mm,
easier.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's really important to, to guide your reports on going to that goal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a time where, because sometimes like we have like infrastructure teams and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, how do you measure impact on those things? Like, has there ever been a time on being an engineering manager for you where it was hard to quantify an impact?
Oh, it's all every day. Like this, this is very difficult, right? Like if you're not building a feature, or if you're not a feature team, if you're not a stream aligned team building the customer facing,
Yeah.
it is very difficult. And this is my job today. I have a 6 backend engineers. So like
Oh
what we are
yeah.
building is just APIs. So
Yeah.
then how do you measure the impact? This is where the investment from the company is in, right? Like it depends on the goal that you want to do, especially in platform teams, such
Yeah.
as, I don't know, infrastructure platforms, etc. There are ways to measure. Like there are, if you are talking about infrastructure, then cost cutting is a good measure, right? Like you say, like, hey, we were spending 1 million per year for our infrastructure, and we aim to reduce this to, I don't know, 700K per year. Like 300,000 per year is a good cut, right? From like 30% is good. There are other ways as well, like the developer experience you provide. And there are a lot of surveys you can do actually to engineers
Mm,
about the infrastructure you are building, and then collect some feedback. And then that becomes your uh, North Star or metric you can measure. Like if, especially if you're building an, I don't know, infrastructure platform and that engineers use to develop their, like, introduce, they create new services or maintain their services, then you're offering a service, right? Your customers are engineers. And then normally what you do with your customers is the same. Then
mm-hmm.
you go and talk with your customers. So like, hey, are you happy? Or hey, what are you missing? Hey, is
Yeah.
this difficult? So like this one, most uh, the most common, but at the same time, the one of I don't know, butchered metrics is the NPS, like Net Promoter Score. You can do it with your engineers. Like the advantage of platform teams, which nobody really realizes, is that your customers are sitting next to you, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if you look at SumUp, we are building card readers, POS, etc. Our customers are in the field, like we don't know them. We have more than 4 million customers. Like how can I know? But I have a platform team, platform, not infra platform, but like we are developing APIs. I know my customers. They're in the same organization. I just go and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, are you happy with using our API? And they tell you that it sucks, and then you can figure out why. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
how
really
we can
easy at some
measure.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, you mentioned to me before that you lead multinational teams and orgs. Yeah, how do you get good at that?
That's where the part of people aspect, right? Like the moment you step into out of your market, local company or the local team, then you are into multinational. And I think it's today it's unavoidable. So even in you are working in one local market, let's say I'm in Germany. If I go to a German company and then everybody is German, you're still in a multinational team,
Mm-hmm.
because many people inherit the culture from their previous company, previous organization. So it is like you cannot avoid multinational. We talk about nations, But even if you are all German, you behave like everyone behaves differently. If you bring every Turkish people or every same American people, how can we say that they are all stereotypical Americans? We cannot, right? Like because
Mm,
they worked in some other company and then they inherit the culture from the previous company. So it's like they know they are very different. And add this to the cultural background. Like if, for example, I sum up now in my team, I think I don't know, in our organization there are more than 45, maybe 50 nationalities overall in the org. And I constantly talk with people. So you need to adjust to the people in front of you. And you don't know every single time what they're going through their days, how they're interpreting events, right? Like it's
mm-hmm,
very different from nation to nation. Um, like for example, I was born and raised in Turkey, but then moved to Germany. So am I Turkish or German? Like you can't really say. I mean I can't say what am I in this situation. Like I don't know which nation I feel belong to. I feel belong to both. Like I'm German right now and I'm Turkish. So, but at the same time I'm neither because I have my individual style.
mm-hmm,
So this is why leading multinational teams is like learning the cultural aspect. What are the contributing factors? I'm a big fan of the culture map from Erin Meyer. I'm a really big fan. Like learn because it shows in 8 different categories how people think differently from different cultures. And this is what I also do a workshop in my team using the book. Then I get to know people around me, how they approach certain things such as decision making or hierarchy leadership or timing or communication or giving feedback. Then it becomes much easier to start the conversation, right? Like because I'm aware of what kind of feedback they prefer, how they approach solving problems. Then it becomes easier to guide the conversation into
mm-hmm,
a better state. And in organizations, not just in one team, but in organizations, investing time into this specifically, like how learning each other. This is why like I'm a big fan of remote work, like big fan, but I go to office every day. And this is totally where I see the benefit of having a multinational team in the office. Now, I think I might get a lot of comments objecting this, but I see the benefit. If you know and if you see the people face to face, it gets better. You get to know them better, etc. You don't have to see them every day, right? Like you can meet, I don't know, once or twice a month, or maybe once a quarter even. That's still fine. But the moment you get people together, that's where you see how they click, where their needs, and then this is where the best come out of the diversity that we are building, because diversity is not about only gender. It's a lot about really bringing different people to the table. So that's where you need to bring them to the table, like have a dinner, right? Like this is where you need to have this, I don't know, face to face time, maybe time to time. Like it doesn't have to be every day.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What is the cadence in your in SumUp? Is it like quarterly? Like,
Oh no, we are fully in office, so
oh,
5 days.
wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I did
Yes.
go to in-person office before as well, and yeah, there is a lot of difference. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, let's go and divert a little bit and maybe go more personal. And in your
Oh,
blog,
okay.
in your blog, you say you're a multi-potentialite. What are the particular hobbies and passions you are into these days?
Uh, yeah. So, I mean, what multi-potentialite means first is like you have multiple potentials that you want to invest on, and then you cannot decide which one to go, and then you just accept your destiny. So that's how I interpret what multi-potentialite means. And I think there was a TED talk about it, so I recommend watching TED talk because it also gives a lot of good aspects. This is where learned the word. So this is where I'm like, yeah, that feels like me.
Mm.
So what I do these days, I'm into writing for, I don't know, I think this is my longest one, longest still potential, right? So because I'm not a full-fledged writer that I earn money from there. I earn zero, so I earn nothing. But I like the aspect of writing or sharing thoughts, sharing what I learn. And I think I also said this maybe in another podcast or in writing in some of my articles that I don't even know who is reading. I don't even know how many people are reading because this is not what's important to me. I don't have
Mhm.
an analytics on my blog. Like I really don't know how many people are reading. It might be two, most likely, or maybe 200. So you never know. This is the aspect I like about it. And the other one, these days, I'm into improvisational theater, which is very
Oh.
new. I just joined my third class this week, so I like it overall. It goes well. It's been a very long time wish of getting into acting, and improv is the very freeing
Mhm.
way of doing things because you don't have a script. So you have to be fully yourself and make fool of yourself in front of so many people, which is an amazing feeling. Um, and it also teaches a lot of life skills too. Like how can you, I don't know, be yourself at certain point and it's like say something weird and then be fine with it. Even though it's like sometimes it's really funny. The funniest things are the weirdest ones. So yeah, and I'm also into reading a lot still. It doesn't change and still investing in my health, like the going to the gym and running, etc. Those are things like I don't even consider hobby, but more like, but I really enjoy it. Like I enjoy every day I wake up at really early. Like today we are recording this at like 6 a.m. for me, right? This is my usual day. Like I'm not even sleepy right now. So I wake up early and yeah, it's more also my other hobbies like the people, like meeting with people. This is where I realized I lacked a lot because we now, when you're multi-potentialite, you want to do a lot of things. Like, I want to do that one. I want to try this experiment. I want to go to this event to see, and I want to take this course. I'm interested in this. Like, I will take some things here, there. I don't know how many Udemy classes I have that's still progressing very
Yeah.
slowly in all of them. I have one about the rhetoric, I have one about finance, one in accounting, just trying to learn there. But all of those things, in the end, if there's no people around, then like I found them very dull alone. So this is why I try to invest a bit more time to people these days. That means less progress on the Udemy courses I'm taking,
Mhm.
which is fine, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to not single potentialite, but in the multi world, I don't have 10, but rather maybe two, three.
Mhm.
So it's a difficult thing because, I mean, for me, some people is just great at one things and they are fine with it. For me, it is very difficult and I'm struggling to find where can I cut because like I'm into learning finance these days, investing, etc. Not because I have the money. I'm like, yeah, it's an interesting world. I'm in fintech. So if I learn how investment works, I understand also the organizations, how they invest their money, the cash flow they have, etc., etc. It is an interesting and complex topic which I'm learning, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, if I want to sacrifice, that one goes right, like that one goes. I started the rhetoric class because I realized that like I want to explain my thoughts better, thinking better, etc. Also, like in the speaking, right? Like rhetoric is very helpful in speaking, especially. And majority of my days speaking, as like in meetings, etc. So, but that one fell apart very quick. So because I realized like, yeah, I need to write an essay, which I do on my blog, but it
Yeah.
gives a topic on the lectures like, hey, you need to write an essay about this. I'm like, but I don't wanna. Like I wanna write something else. Like so or but it's a skill. So it's a skill to train. But I will go back to rhetoric. I'm sure I will go back. I really like the approach because I think it's also helpful for my writing in general. But yeah, this trying to figure out what are the things is very difficult because then I'm like, okay, I'm just mostly choosing what I what I'm fine with dropping rather than
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do. Because like, hey, I'm fine with dropping this one, it's fine. I like it, but still it goes first. So if I need to drop something, this
Yeah.
is how I approach.
Yeah, no, we only have 24 hours in a day, so gotta drop something. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, yes,
always trade-off, right?
yes, of course. I think I read it in Tim Ferriss' blog or in yeah, I think maybe in a podcast that the decisions that you make that removes thousand other decisions are the best ones, right? Like I think I wrote also about this on my blog once. So like for example, I don't watch TV. That's a decision,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's crazy.
I don't watch Netflix. That's also a decision. That removes thousands of other decisions. When people say like, "Ah, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this TV show?" I'm like, "No, I don't care." I mean,
I've
we
never met
talk about it
anyone like that, okay? Never. And I read
like
in
I
your blog you like JOMO, Joy of Missing Out.
yes,
There's another one. They
exactly.
call it ROMO, Relief of Missing Out.
Relief. Oh, it's the first time I hear. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, yeah. No, I'm big into JOMO. Yes, like JOMO is
Yeah.
wonderful. I recommend
Wow.
everyone to try, but
Yeah.
that requires this making the one decision that you don't need to make many other decisions. Like really, when I say I don't watch TV shows, you have no idea how many decisions it eliminates in my life. Like, I don't need to think about do I watch this one or that one? Or, hey, my friend recommended this one,
Yeah.
maybe I watch or like I don't care. Like, no. The answer is no. So it's very obvious. Sometimes I, of course, want to watch something, right? Like, it's obvious I want to. But this is why when I take a note of when someone recommends me something, but I don't watch what Netflix recommends to me or Amazon Prime Video recommends because my decision was I don't want to get recommendations from algorithms. That's not what I want. I that is a decision, and that decision eliminated so many other things because then I also close my Instagram because I don't want to get recommendations from algorithms.
Oh my God.
That's totally fine. And then you realize how many algorithms around you recommending some things or all those machine learning models that's been built that to hook you and keep you in the system. And then I'm like, okay, when my friend recommends me something, I ask questions, like genuine questions to figure out why they like it so much. Is
Mm,
this because it's a hype or they really like it for other reason? When I see when I hear the reason and then when it's like, yeah, I'm actually curious now, I just take a note and I don't go and watch right away. And then whenever next time I really want to watch something, I just look at my list. I'm like, oh, okay, oh, there are some things here. This one was interesting. Okay, let's watch that one.
mm.
So then recommendation engines become the people you know around you instead of the algorithm. So that is very old school approach, right? Like it is old school, right? Because
You're
sometimes
very
old school is
selective.
good.
Very, very selective.
Some sometimes old school is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing for books. Like I this one I stole it directly from Tim Ferriss. I don't read books in the first year they published
Mm,
because there are so many marketing around it. There are so many things. Like it becomes hype or not. I don't care. Like, but if book survives maybe 2 years and it is still popular or not popular but more like it's everybody says it's a great book still,
mm-hmm.
then I check it out because like if in the first year I'm like why bother, it needs to get the it needs to get the test of time. The time test is the best test ever for anything.
Mm.
If you have a thinking, like put it into time test, sleep over it. That's why people say sleep over it. You need to put a time test on it and you need to see how it works. If you're, I don't know, if you're in a group of 5 people, friends, 3 people recommends one book and then the other 2 jumps in, it's the hype, right? Like it's really the hype. But when you put in time, say like, okay, then you talk about this book maybe 1 year later or 2 years later still, and everybody's like, that was a wonderful book. Then it's good to check it out,
It was
especially
worth your
these
time.
days.
It was worth your time.
Exactly, exactly. So then these days, especially people watch something on Netflix, they forget it until 2 months. The TV
Mm.
shows became also dull. Do you remember anything that you watched last year from Netflix or some
Yeah,
others?
I have a
The,
favorite
the
one.
Netflix shows.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there is. Not many, not
Yeah,
many. Yeah. Very
like the percentage wise, it's very low,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. The quality level in Netflix is not that great. No.
In neither, like in never, like nowhere is great. If you watch everything, that's great. I mean, if this is your hobby, that's totally fine, right? Like, for example, I read a lot online, but that's my hobby, so I read a lot that's been published recently
Mm-hmm.
online. That's a choice that I make. That's totally fine. But I don't watch TV shows. That's live. I don't know, last week. But people do watch it, which is totally fine because that's what they like. So it depends on the decision or the life direction that you want to take. It's not for everyone. And I don't do this for everything, obviously.
Very cool, very cool. Maybe I'll try that out. But actually, I don't get into the hype of TV or movies, but not as much as like waiting for 2 years. No, I wait like
Yeah.
few months. Yeah,
How about
and I
YouTube?
select. I don't go to YouTube a lot. If I go to YouTube, I go to podcasts or like something that really
Mm,
interests me. But yeah,
mm.
algorithm knows me though. The algorithm,
Yes.
the algorithm knows me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question. If you could have dinner with any tech leader, who would it be? And this could be like alive or like, not here anymore.
Mm.
What would you ask them?
Oh, very difficult question because I don't know too many tech leaders' names.
Okay.
Um, they are
Okay,
not part
maybe
of my life day to day.
maybe not a tech person then.
In
Someone
general,
interesting.
leader.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I would love to have a dinner with Charlie Munger,
Mm,
mm, the I don't know, best one of the best investors, along with Warren Buffett. I mean, I said this, I'm into finance, but it's not because of it. It's like just the thinking and the approach that they took is very counterintuitive back then. Now it becomes more and more common knowledge. But how, I want to ask most probably, how did they stick to this approach for so long? And also, how did they form and led an organization, the Berkshire Hathaway? It's a very small organization, but
yeah.
they have so much wealth, like so much wealth. And also how they evolved their worldview. And I mean, they talk about it a lot already. Like I read a lot about Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, etc., in every possible way. But at the same time, I would love to have this one dinner. And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's dead, sadly. But this, just to get this, like, how can you stick for so long?
Mm,
Not to the investment, but like the idea of this, because he learns a lot about psychology, like talks a lot about psychology and also sometimes philosophy, etc. And I don't remember when Charlie Munger was talking about really some accounting topic, etc., etc. Like it doesn't talk about those things much, and always talks about the psychology of people.
mm,
Like how can you stay, like how can you analyze yourself? how can you approach decisions, how to make a decision that will bring you the result that you hope for, and then how can you eliminate all your biases on the way. And if I have a chance, then asking Charlie would be like, yeah, then why did you, like, how did you figure this out? He says he read a lot of books which helped him on the way. And at the same time, I don't know, even just having a dinner with him would be an amazing opportunity. Like it's okay that I sit silent also. Don't ask anything and just Charlie talks and I listen. That will be also be totally fine. But if you go into tech, then I would choose Steve Jobs. Um, Not because he's the best, whatever. Like we all, I think everybody knows that he's a jackass, and he can't help it because this is who he is. I read his the biography from Walter Jackson. I think it was Walter Jackson as well. But the whole, like, one thing I wanted to more talk about really, because his passion is building the product, right? Building a product, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I would go more on meta. Why that matters? Like, that's what I would ask. Like, why that matters? Because as we talk, I'm a multi-potentialite, right? Like, I have so many things I'm interested in, which actually prevents me being a laser focused on one thing. And I want to learn how to be laser focused on one thing. And it doesn't have to be my job, but what is it? And while figuring this out, talking with Steve and saying, like, hey, like, why? Like, really, why? And not how. Why part is very crucial, because how part changes from people to people, from their lives. It has a lot of outside impact. But this passion and then following this why is what drives forward, which is why I'm interested in, like, yeah, I would love to ask this, like, why did you follow this passion?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from all the things that I saw from him, even when he was younger, when all that he still had hair, like he's a visionary. There was this video
Mm.
where he predicted how ChatGPT would work. It's like his
Yeah.
vision is just amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
although he's a
This is what you,
jackass.
yeah, I mean, yes, this is what you get when you're really laser focused, because you
Mm.
know,
You know what you
you're like,
want.
yeah, and then also being creative, right? Like, being creative is, he unleashed that creativity, and together with Johnny Eve, they did a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
Things, not one, like iPhone, I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
iPod, MacBook Pro, and everything is just wonderful. And of course, they made shit ton of mistakes. Sorry for the language, but it's obvious that you have to make mistake, otherwise nothing will happen. So yeah, Steve Jobs. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish, but
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. And now we're in the final question. Something that I
yeah,
really like asking my people I'm interviewing. How would you like to be remembered?
I don't. So, like, let's put it this way: I accept the reality of not being remembered, because it's the reality. So, once we accept this, that hey, I'm just a living organism in this world for X number of years, I don't know, then nobody will remember me. That's totally fine. Like, the people we remember, how many years go back when you think about it?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
is like, who we remember from 10,000 years ago? There's nobody. Yeah, maybe technology will help this to be remembered, but I think this is an illusion we make to ourselves today, instead of, like, really. I think if we do good this while we are here, good is a strong word, and I'm leaving it undefined because it means different things for people. And I'm like, if we feel we are part of something, and if we do good, and then we try our best, the rest doesn't matter. This is how I think, because, like, being remembered is like whatever. I mean, I don't think anybody will remember me, even though I'm the, I don't know, most famous person like Taylor Swift or Charlie Munger or I don't know Steve Jobs, like put in a test of time in 200 years,
Mm,
who's gonna remember?
yeah.
Or let's say in 1,000 year. Let's expand this a bit. In 1,000 year, like we have people we remember from I don't know the Aristo or Plato from the old times, like I don't know 2-3 thousand years back. But even then, we remember I don't know handful of people,
And you
and there
remember
were
very
billions
little
and
too. You remember very
yeah,
little too.
like yes, like there are billions of people lived in, and you remember a handful of them. So it's like this is why I'm an average person, and I accept the reality that I'm not gonna be remembered, which is totally fine. Like it is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think if we know that and if we live with this in mind, we have a much better life. It's just accept that you're not a loser. Like it doesn't mean that it makes you a loser. It just makes you a person. That's it. Like billions of people, nobody knows. I mean, in their own word, people know, and that's what matters, right?
Mm,
Like my wife knows me, my friends know me,
mm,
and people around me know me. Like now I have blog, and in while I'm living, a few more people knows than usual. Like you are in Canada, I'm in Germany, and in which time previously this was possible that you know
mm,
someone from thousands of kilometers away? Like how? And I think we are not able to comprehend this as humans, and we are not able to live with this yet. We don't know how yet. Maybe we will learn later in time. But then this is why I'm totally okay that maybe in Australia people don't need to know me. That's fine. Like, why would they? I mean, I'm okay with not knowing them because they have no impact on my life. So yeah, it's bad. It's also okay that they don't know me because I have no impact on their life. So
mm.
I'm surprised that you know me, for example, from Canada. So
I think that's
yes,
a
so I'm not
very,
gonna be remembered.
I think that's a very humble answer too. And yeah, that's a great one. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we have to live. So we have to live our own lives, and it's all totally okay to not be remembered.
yeah.
It makes things easier. Let's put it this way.
True. Yeah, yeah. And just do good, do your best, and
Yeah,
cannot worry about the future either, right? So, yeah.
yeah. Future is unwritten. You have no idea what's gonna happen. You maybe don't have a future even. So you never know. That's why. I mean, it's not a pessimistic approach, but it's the reality. It's the truth. It just means that you're facing the truth head on,
Mm,
which is always good.
yeah. Well, all right. It was a very great discussion with you, Chandost.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you around LinkedIn, or maybe if I visit Germany, or maybe if you visit Vancouver, yeah, we can
Sure.
hang out. It was
Yeah.
very
Thank you
great.
very much.
All right, then have a good one.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for
much.
having me. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much. All right. Bye.